No, I won't stop.
Welcome to Dre's House of Style. I'm your host, Dresden. I wanted to jump right in with my first video with a fresh take on a new game that I had never played before for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and we're going to jump right in and get started. So I did go through a little bit of the tutorial, and I have had a little bit of gameplay. So I do kind of know the ins and outs of the game a little bit, just to start off, enough to make me dangerous. So we want to start new career. We're going to go ahead and pick male because obviously we're male. We're not a lady man. And we're going to change the name to Dresden because that's me. So we want to go ahead and begin the game. We're going to start in Hammerfest, not start with the tutorial. We'll begin the game. And when you start the game off, you get the starter vessel, your Grandpappy's fishing boat. It looks like a wreck and drives like a wreck, and it doesn't move very fast, but it's enough to get you started. You don't have the ability, or you don't have room on the boat to hire crew, so it's just you by yourself. And if we take a look around here, we've got on the bottom toolbar, we've got some options here. Go fishing, which allows you to get out of the dock. We don't want to do that just yet. We're going to take a look around. You've got the dock. When you open this up, you've got your maintenance, where you can change the name of the vessel. We're not going to bother doing that just yet. You can buy fuel, repair your hull, and repaint your vessel when it's available. Up here, then you have upgrades. So you can upgrade your storage, your engine, your radar, your searchlight, your mast. I actually haven't figured out. I upgraded my mast when I did the short little playthrough. I have no idea what this does. It just kind of, well, you can't even, doesn't even allow you to see it. So it just kind of looks cool. I don't know if there's actually any functionality to it, but like I said, I didn't get that far in. Obviously the engine upgrades, there's a ton of functionality, the storage. So yeah, and then you can purchase boat tab. You can press the purchase boat tab. And you can look through all the boats. They do get quite expensive. Even the first upgrade is 450,000 in-game currency, which they call KR. I have no idea what that stands for. I really, for some reason, want to call them krill, and that's what we're gonna call them. So anyway, looking through, you got a few boats you can choose from here, and they just get more and more expensive as it goes up, as you would expect it to be. So let's get out of that, get back to the dock here. Then there's the town button. We'll click on the town button. This is where you can hire crew, obviously, and fire crew. We can't do any of this yet because, as I said before, we don't have room on the boat for another person. If I tried to hire someone right now, which I can go ahead and try to do, hire crew for whatever, yes, blah, 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 doesn't have enough space. So bank, you can take out a loan here in the bank, and I did notice that these actually will go up and down. Different offers pretty much will come in, so you have to watch that. If you're looking for a certain amount and it's not there, give it 5 or 10 minutes, and you might get something a little bit closer to what you were looking for. The bar tab, this is actually, if you go out and look at the mini map, and we'll zoom out here, you can see these anchors all around the mini map. These are different ports. Basically what will happen in the bar, let's go back to that real quick. When you go into the bar, there's different ports will have different job listings, and I guess this is where you find out about them in the bar. Over a cold cup of brew or whatever, mug of brew, I guess would be better terminology. Anyway, this is where you will find out about the jobs and accept them. Some jobs pay a little more for certain fish that you can catch right here, but they're in, high demand wherever their port is. The only unfortunate thing about it is when you go to turn it in and you have to travel to the port, if it's an undiscovered area, you actually have to travel there. There is no fast travel to unexplored areas, which, kind of sucks. It does take a while, but, you can also kind of put the boat on autopilot and walk away for a while. Next tab on the town tab is the boat services. I would suggest maybe not right away, but you know, getting the towing, it's not a bad idea, because I almost ran my boat out of gas, and yeah, it would just probably be a good idea to either make sure you always have fuel in your boat, or you know, you have this. So at any rate, moving on. Go to the fish market. This is where they show you all the prices of the fish, obviously. If you click the little hook icon up here, buy bait, you can go in. Right now we have 4 unbaited long lines, which is the most that this boat can handle. So you would click on this, and then it'll show you all the different bait. If you hover over the eye, the red eye, it'll tell you what fish this certain bait is really good for. So like the crab is good for, you kind of have to go back, I believe it is the cod. That's what it looks like to me anyway. Yes, cod, and whatever other little fish that was down at the bottom, but the shrimp, definitely good for the cod. Okay, so the mackerel is good for the pollock and the haddock. So you get the idea. Anyway, going through, it'll tell you what each bait is best for. Moving on, go to your weather. It shows you the weather. I mean, it doesn't really do much else but show you the current forecast, I'm assuming is what that is. Mini map, we've already kind of explored that. You can zoom in and out and move all around. It's actually really big. So this is your explored area, is what you start out with, and the all species marks all species of fish, obviously, on the mini map here, which I haven't really found a good time to use that. Again, I didn't get very far in the game. I wanted it to be as fresh as possible, but I needed to take a look at it to, you know, learn how to play it, obviously. I found it's a lot better if you know, obviously, if you mark each one. Cod right now, you can't, there's nothing here. The pollock, there's not a whole lot, but when you get down to haddock, starts to light up real bright. Redfish, not a whole lot of those either. So you can guess what we're going to be starting with. That's right, haddock. So knowing that, up top here, you have your, up top right, sorry, you have your time, your date, and your money. Over to the left here, you have the logbook. So if you click on the logbook, it gives you your certifications, which were certified to drive this little dinghy. You actually really just have to drive that around, it seems, to get your next certification, which is what you need for the next boat up, I believe. The sales, this shows you all your sales that you've had, gear, shows you your gears, jobs. This shows you the jobs that I believe you've accepted, and I think it shows you the ones that you haven't accepted either. We'll explore that in a later video, and we might even get to it today. Depends on, you know, if a job comes up. So events, this is kind of really where you want to start out. So right down here at the bottom, you see it says August. We're in August. If you look at the date, haddock season has just started, and you know, this is pretty much telling you, you know, mackerel breeding is from these dates. You know, it tells you when there's low haddock, but at any rate, so it's pretty much, it's kind of guiding you in the right direction. You want to start with haddock. Seasons, I guess this is the logbook that you keep as you're rolling through the seasons, and you know, you can reference this as well. But the events, you definitely want to start here. You definitely want to start with haddock. Click that X and get out of there. So really, knowing that, you want to go back into your fish market. We're going to buy bait, and I believe it was the mackerel. Yes, the haddock is the little tan-ish icon with the bluer fish with the tri-fins. If you go back here, you can see that's our haddock right there. So we'll go back in, buy bait. We want the mackerel. So we'll fill up all 4 lines. And we're ready at this point to leave. So we're gonna go fishing, guys. I'm gonna get this boat out of the dock here, and I will catch you out there. Be right back. And we're back, guys. I just wanted to bring this up real quick too before I got too far. I had kind of forgot about this. So if you go to your map here, let's click on our haddock so we know where we're going. You can fast travel if you click the waypoint down here on the bottom left, or well, bottom center really. You got to watch out for this little jetty here. I've actually hit that about 8 times in a previous run through. So put your waypoint out here and put the next one kind of getting into the middle. You can actually right click this and move it pretty much wherever you want to go. So we're going to put ours right there. And then the gold star is the fast travel. And that's what brings you to where you need to be. So once you get out to where you want to be, you want to throttle up your boat. This is what I found anyway. And actually, let's take a minute to look around the boat. So we want to press F. That's V. Okay, want to press F, and we'll get out of the captain's chair here. You've actually got a little cabin area. You can light your wood stove. You can turn your wood stove off. That's about all you can do in here. You got a seat to sit on. You can't pick up the hammer. I don't know that the clock even works. Maybe it does, actually. But that's about all you do. Nothing but you can't really interact with anything in here except for the wood stove. You can look out the window. Yeah, so go back out. Inside here, you've got your, that's a CB. Ah, cool. Access the captain's chair by hitting E. You sit down, you can actually rotate the searchlight, but they're also quick bound, I believe, to the Q and E button. I think it even says that. Yep, Q and E, rotate searchlight. You'd open the door, take around, look around the boat. Here's your lines. This is where all your fish go. And really, there's not much of anything out here to interact with. You can interact with your line or net, but really you do that as you're driving the boat. So there's really no need for that. You can drive the boat from outside. Let's shut that door. E to interact again. Hit V to go back into. Sorry. Hit V to go back into third person, and you can right click and look around. So W, A, S, and D obviously are your directional buttons, and that's how we're going to move the boat around. So what you want to do is throttle up all the way. You want to kind of reference your map every now and again to see where you are. I found, at least, you really want to put your lines in this really bright area, the bright yellow area. I found that to be the best area. So once you get to a comfortable spot, let's check. We're not quite there yet. Once you get to a comfortable spot, you're going to come down here. Another toolbar down here on the lower left-hand corner of the screen. You got your gear bar and your set gear. So let's go ahead and do that. I think we're out far enough. And you just click on the set hook line, and it's going to slow you down and pretty much bring you to almost a stop. So there goes your other buoy. So throttle back up. And you see how your buoy has this darker circle around it. So it took me a while to figure this out. You really don't want to put another line close to that. Like, you want to keep all your lines out here in this bright yellow. And actually what we're probably going to do is we may drop another line right here and then probably go out here, because there's a lot more area there to drop more lines. So we're going to go, let's see, a little bit further. So these lines, excuse me. These all these little boxes down here, again, they're like a toolbox. Your inventory, you can check your line info, weather, sonar, you got storage. Up on the lights, you've got your interior lights, work lights, search lights, and running lights. So let's go ahead and drop this next line. I feel like we're out far enough. Check the mini map. Oh yeah, we're definitely out far enough. Almost too far, actually. A little bit further than I wanted to be. So go to mini map. We're gonna select another waypoint, and we're gonna put this guy right about there. Fast travel. And when you're fast traveling around, you really do have to pay attention to your fuel. Down here on the bottom right, you've got your speed, which is measured in knots on the water for those of you that are not boat savvy, if you're not a captain like me. And then you've got your fuel gauge, and you've got your pretty much your integrity of your boat and your hull there as well. When you hit things, that goes down, just to let you know. You will have to repair your boat. Let's pop back in, throttle up, and we'll set these last two lines. All right. So now that I've pretty much shown you how to set your lines, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up here. I'm gonna fast travel back to the dock, and I'll see you guys there. All right. Welcome back, everybody, and we've made it to the dock. So, if we click on our mini map, click on our mini map. Oh, we can't click on our mini map with the quick button. We got to actually go down there. Okay, so if you click on your mini map, zoom out a little bit, you'll see that all of the buoys have this red circle around them, and it even gives you a time of how long they've been out there. It's been my experience that you want to have about 20 or so hours, give or take travel time too. So when I come back down here on the, let me go through that again. Sorry, I'm just clicking buttons and I'm not even explaining what I'm doing. So you've got the skip time button down here on the toolbar. We actually didn't cover that earlier because, well, there wasn't really any need to. So skip time button allows you to skip time. So I normally put it right around 15 hours. The buoys have actually been out there a little longer than I'd like, but I'm going to go ahead and do it at 15 hours and see what happens. We'll skip time and go back to our mini map, and now they've all got this nice blue hue to them. So they've been out there these 21 hours. That's about as long as you really want to leave them without trying to travel to them. So let's go back here. We'll hit the go fishing. It's going to ask you if you want to go out with without baited lines. I'm going to click don't show me this again. Yes, we'll throttle back here and we'll get away from the dock and fast travel out to our buoys, and we'll go ahead and collect our first batch of fish. So give me a second and I'll see you guys out there. I'll BRB. And we're back. So we've made it out to our buoys. Go ahead and throttle up here a little bit. And you really, when you're trying to catch when you're trying to snag your line, you want to make sure you're kind of no more than 3/4 of the way throttled up. If you're going too fast, it actually won't let you pick them up. And you'll see once we get close, we'll throttle back a little bit here. Once we get close, you'll see this little circle pop up. There it goes, and it'll turn colors. You want to make sure the buoy's in. You hit E. Would you like to haul? Of course we would. Here's the fun part. As that circle gets smaller, you've got to click the mouse button. So the better it is, I guess the more fish you're actually going to get out of it. And you'll see, like that one said perfect 8%. That one's good plus 11%. So I guess it was good plus 11%. I don't really know what that is, and I kind of screwed that one up. So you'll go through this with all of the entire line, all 250 whatever hooks. It doesn't take that long. Oh, perfect, sweet. You actually, it's kind of random as far as how many fish you actually bring up. If you don't place your lines correctly, sometimes there's no fish at all, and it'll tell you that when you pull up to the line and go to haul it. But once you get all your fish up, then you have to gut them. So we're gonna get there here eventually. I think this is the last line. Yep. All right, so now we've got all our fish. A little window pops up, tells you what you've got. That's actually not too terribly bad. We'll click OK. Cutting. Would you like to gut the fish? Gutting. Wow, that totally looked like a C. So we'll click yes, and we'll come over to this little table. When you hit start, it's gonna pop the fish down on the table. Pretty much what you have to do is it gives you a slider, and you'll see these circles like up here, down here, and they're kind of staggered. Basically what that does is as you're moving your mouse button, it'll pull your mouse towards that circle. The best way that I've found to do this is just once you hit start, make sure your mouse is where it needs to be and just go as fast as you can. Normally works for me. Sometimes it doesn't. But let's show you what I'm talking about right now. So see, that was, oh gosh, that was bad. Well, actually it wasn't too bad. I got a 3 3/4 stars, a little bit more out of that, which is, it's pretty good, honestly. So let's try this again. That was terrible. I'll probably get 2 stars. Nope, not even for that. That one's not going to be real good. Nope, almost 5 stars. So it tells you how many kilograms that you've gutted here when you get done. And so that's the first line. basically that's all there is to it right this moment. You set your lines, you haul your fish, you gut your fish. Once you've got all your lines, you wanna take them back to the dock and sell them. Rinse and repeat pretty much at that point. So we'll go ahead and click the wheel here, E to drive. We'll go to third person, and you can see over here on the right hand side your gutted fish and how much space it's taken up, how much space you still have left. And usually if you place your, for me anyway, if you place your lines correctly, you're going to, with the 4 lines, you're going to end up pretty full. So, which is good. I normally get about, gosh, I'm trying to think, maybe 70,000 krill, between 40 and 70, I think is what I was getting. Just depends on how much they're paying for them, really. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull the rest of the lines and fast travel back to the dock, and I'll meet you guys there, and we'll check out the how to sell the fish and the rinsing and the repeating, as it were. So BRB in just a minute, guys. Welcome back, guys. So we've made it back to the dock almost. As you can see, we're pretty full. We didn't fill up all of the way, but we got pretty close, and we're moving pretty slow. We've also used a good amount of our fuel going out as far as we had way out here, which, you know, no big deal. But we caught enough fish. We'll be able to totally cover the fuel expense. So let's get this guy parked, and you'll see as soon as we pull into the dock, when you're coming in, you get in this square, you kind of want to pull the throttle back a little bit, start your turn in, just let it drift. It'll, again, just like the pulling the lines, you have to be going a certain speed. It's going to ask you if you want to dock. Yes. And then the window for selling your fish pops up. I'm pretty sure you can hit cancel, and once you actually get docked, you go to the fish market and sell them that way. I always just do it like this. Here's how much money we made. We made 40,000 krill. That's because that's what we're going to call it. So yeah, I was a little off of my mark. I think actually I may have been recalling what I was grabbing with the second boat, because I did unlock the second boat in my short little playthrough, and honestly, it didn't even really take me that long. I took a loan out on the bank, and yeah, I think with that I was getting about 80. So it's just about twice as much as what you can get with this boat here. I think that's going to be it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and as this is our first look at this, it was more of a kind of a tutorial video on pretty much how to get started in fishing Barents Sea. From here on out, we're going to be exploring a lot more. We're going to just having a lot more fun, getting a loan, getting our upgrades, explore the different boats in the different areas, and so from here on out, it'll be a little less tutorial-y, I guess, if that's a word, if you want to call it that. So if you liked the video, don't forget to leave a like and smash the subscription button. Leave a comment in the section below, and I'll try to get to each and every one of them. If you want to see me cover something specific in the next episode, please make sure you let me know, and I'll see you guys next time.